This week on the Digital Coffee, Instagram Live is going all pro and fancy. And soon you're going to be able to co-author tweets. And Instagram is working on and testing something it's calling notes, which is weird and confusing. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb. I am a digital marketing ROI consultant and mentor. What does that mean? That means that I help businesses like yours get more sales, more return on investment on their digital marketing. But enough about that. I've got so much to tell you about this week. Firstly, I do have a question of the week because this man is creeping back into the show this week. Elon Musk. Should he buy Twitter? Would you be happy if he bought Twitter, or do you think, maybe it's not such a good idea? I would love to know. Also, because we are having this digital coffee together, I would love to know what is in your mug. Mine is sadly empty. And I've only had 2 sips of tea this morning. I'm a little bit behind schedule because I went to a gig last night. That's a whole other thing to talk about. So no caffeine for me yet this morning. Maybe that's a good thing. And good morning to Shane. I can see Shane watching over on LinkedIn from the M7. Are you stuck in traffic? Also, then, if you're on Facebook, I'm forgetting what I'm saying and everything, you see? If you're on Facebook, do give us a shout out, say, hello, I'm watching you on Facebook, Amanda. And if you're on YouTube, do say hello too. So let me know what's in your mug. Let me know what you think about Elon Musk. And before I get on to the main show, I do want to tell you 2 things. Firstly, I want to tell you about the Twitter space that I run with May King-Sang, who's been a bit under the weather, but she's still going to fight on like a trooper and join us at 10:30 on Twitter, where we can discuss all these topics in more detail. You will see, hopefully, a pinned tweet at the top of my Twitter profile at Spiderworking. If you join on mobile, you can join the conversation. You can come and have your say. If you're on desktop, you can just listen. The second thing I want to tell you about is that I have a webinar that I have produced in association with Agora Pulse about getting more ROI from your digital marketing. It's absolutely free to attend. You just need to register. There's a QR code there. There's a link, spiderworking.com/Agora ROI. So if you go there and register, you'll have access to the webinar, which is running on the 25th, Monday, the 25th of July at 11 a.m. So do grab that now, head over and register for that, and I'd be delighted to see you there. I think I've tried to make it fun. So it's not all about a deep dive into analytics. We look at some of the fun ways that you can do this too. So do join us for that. Now, that is the end of the announcements. I can see we've got Kate watching on Facebook. So I just need someone from YouTube now. Good morning to Kate, who is drinking tea, and Simon, who's on the water. It's on the water. That I have had water this morning, in fairness. So that has been the only liquid to pass my lips today. I'm feeling very sorry for myself. Can you tell? Maybe I should just talk about the news. What do you think?
Hello, this is Rob Charles, the voice of Mike on Forever FM on Peter Kay's Car Share. BAFTA award winning, I've got to say, but I've not seen the BAFTA yet. Anyway, you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Enjoy. I'm on tea. Shh.
When you go live on Instagram, it's, you have to go live via the app. It's very raw. It's very real. So that's a bit of a pain. Because here's one reason I wouldn't like it. I have to wear glasses to see what's going on the screen. And in order to manage that live, I would have to actually look at the screen, put my glasses on, peer and see all the comments and everything. It's not good for me. It also means you can't do things like multiple cameras. You can't do anything fancy. You can't put overlays on. The Instagram API has never allowed third-party streaming officially on the app. So anything that you were using to do that was, dodgy. dodgy. And if you wanted to multi-stream, so if I wanted this show to go on Instagram, I'd have to stick a phone up here as well. There's no way I could multi-stream to all these channels and Instagram. It has to happen independently, which means it's sucking 2 lots of internet as well, which makes it quite ridiculous, to be honest. So all of that was a pain, but there was something, I guess, nice about that raw, unprofessional, unpolished look that you got on Instagram Lives. Very un-Instagrammy when you think about it. But you can guess what I'm going to say, can't you? Yes, now Instagram are testing the ability to go live via streaming platforms with a tool they're calling Instagram Live Producer, which is very similar. Facebook have a similar tool. You'll be able to hook it up to streaming services. At the moment, it's OBS Studio, StreamYard, which I'm sure we've all heard of, and you can multi-stream via StreamYard. Or the third one is Streamlabs. Those are the 3 that they're experimenting with now. So if you're lucky, if you are in the test group, and if you're using one of those softwares, you'll be able to hook the whole thing up, get your text overlays and your animations and put your logo in the corner and put a QR code up on the screen like this one. You know what that's for, right? You can do all that stuff, multi-cameras. You can make it look way more visually interesting, and hopefully that will help you retain your viewers for a little bit longer. So I think this is good news for businesses. It means one less thing that you have to worry about. You'll be able to do this directly and make it look pretty, particularly if Instagram is your main platform. I think all we're missing now is this for TikTok. I'd like to be able to do this on TikTok too, but you know, TikTok videos are even more raw. I can see we've got Making is here, ginger, lemon and honey. I did say she was under the weather, so healing there, hopefully. Deirdre says, good morning, a chocolatey beverage. Oh, I'd love some chocolate right now. It is Friday. I'm allowed chocolate on Friday. OBS is very clunky. It is what OBS Studio is, for those of you that aren't aware. It's a streaming software. You download it onto your computer. It's open source, so it's free to use, and anyone can look at the code and edit it. Much like WordPress is open source. So it's, from that point of view, it's like a collaborative effort in some ways to create OBS. And I remember when the first time I used it, my computer just couldn't cope. Because I had an older computer and it was just like, no, this is too much RAM for me to deal with. But it is kind of a preface to what I'm using now. You can have different scenes and vision mixed between them. It is pretty fabulous, but it is a lot of hard work. You're absolutely right, Simon. But, you know, it might be worth looking at it if you want to go live on Instagram.
Hi, I'm Kyra Fingleton from Glamping Under the Stars, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Oh, the rich and famous, eh? Imagine you're Elon Musk for a moment. Imagine all that money coming in on you. And then imagine one day you think, oh, you know what? I'd like to buy Twitter. So you buy Twitter. You can do that because you're rich and you're Elon Musk. But then a few days later, you're getting buyer's remorse. Or a few weeks in his case, and you start going, oh, that's an awful lot of money to spend, and I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if I've got the energy to put into it. I'm only like imagining. Maybe he just went, actually, that was a silly deal. It's not very good. But either way, he's not into it anymore. Remember, he did start saying he wanted to see how many fake followers there were, and if he couldn't find that out, he was going to pull out of the deal. Well, now he has actually pulled out of the deal after Twitter trying extensively to prove how many fake followers they had on there. When this happened, Twitter went mad. A lot of people were very happy that he said he wasn't going to buy Twitter anymore. Yes, me too. Even though I think it's been shown that Twitter is an utter mess, I'm not sure it was going to get better under Elon Musk. So I was a bit worried about the future of Twitter then. But it's not that simple, because now Twitter are bringing Elon Musk to court in order to try and force him to buy the platform. Now, I know he kind of they have to do this because, shareholders, they're answerable to and all that stuff. And they've got quite a dossier of all the things he did to try and, it looks like he tried to manipulate the market, because once he started kicking up a fuss about the fake followers, the share prices dropped, and then he wanted to try and get it for a cheaper price. There's all sorts of things, the conversations that he had, the tweets that he put out, the way he talked to people, the emails he got, the fact that he didn't attend meetings about how many fake followers there were, fake people, robot accounts, whatever you want to call them. So they've got quite a dossier of information against him. So I guess we have to see what happens next. Is he going to be forced to buy Twitter? And if he does, is he going to really want to run it well? I'm a little bit concerned. I'd love to know, do you think it is a good thing that Elon Musk wants Twitter, was going to buy Twitter, isn't going to buy Twitter anymore? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
I'm Louise Brogan, host of LinkedIn with Louise, and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Now, I know analytics are one of those things that tends to scare people off in a big way. Analytics are scary, right? But there is one tool from Google where you can actually get this really cool visual kind of thing that shows you, particularly if you've got content on your website, what content is driving traffic to your website, what search terms people are using to find that content on your website, whether people are even looking at your homepage, if that's working at all, what keywords they're using to find your homepage, what sites are referring to you, and it's all very easy to look at and easy to digest. Where is this magical place, Amanda? It's called Search Console from Google. And when you go there, the main Search Console, scary analytics stuff, but they have this thing called Search Console Insights. Now, I've been a fan of this for quite some time, but the problem was that it was only able to link to Universal Analytics. So that's the Google Analytics you've probably been using on your website for a very long time. But as you know, if you've looked at your analytics recently, we're being told you have to move over to Google Analytics 4. And it wasn't compatible with Google Analytics 4 until last week. So this has removed the necessity to say, well, I'm not going Google Analytics 4 because it doesn't work with Search Console. It is there now. So you can link it quite easily. When you go in there, you'll see that if you have linked it to your Google Analytics, you'll just have to release that and add the new Google Analytics 4 there. It's really simple to do. And when you get it, you get that visuals coming from that. You need to do this because in July 2023, Universal Analytics is going away. So this will be a complete disconnect. The downside, there is a downside. When I connected my Google Analytics 4 to my Search Console, my Universal Analytics, the big headline stat at the top was how many millions of people had visited my website ever, which, gave a little ego boost. Made me really happy when I went there. With Google Analytics 4, because I only installed it earlier this year, it's like in the thousands. And I was like, hey, what happened to all my millions of viewers? So just to be aware, it doesn't merge the information from Universal. It'll only bring in the Google Analytics 4. So I would recommend that you connect that now or as soon as possible. I can see we've got Hannah here. Good morning, Hannah. Are you still on holiday? You can't wait to start playing with it. It really is. I mean, Search Console Insights, it doesn't give you everything you want to know, but it is a really quick overview of what you need to see. And just another quick plug to let you know that if you want to know more about how Search Console works or Search Console Insights and how that works, you can join my webinar that I'm doing for Agora Pulse. That's the QR code. If you want to scan it, you can come and register there. It's on the 25th of July. And then spiderworking.com/Agora ROI if you want to just type in a link if you're on a phone right now. So that is just one of the topics I will be talking about and showing you in more detail on that webinar. Now I need to find a button to press, so bear with me.
Hello, this is Simon Hodgkins, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Social media is all about selling. It's all about e-commerce now, isn't it? Had you noticed all the social networks want to get in on this? And That's no surprise, really. Shopping is a thing over the past 2 years. So many more businesses have got online and they've connected up online stores. And we as consumers have become just so used to shopping online, it doesn't seem like a weird thing to do anymore. So it makes sense. Social networks want a piece of this action. They want to get in there. They want to help businesses promote their own products there as well. I say here. So TikTok, we know TikTok launched shopping, not in Ireland yet, unfortunately, but in a number of territories, including the UK. So hopefully we will see it soon. And in Indonesia, they are testing a shop tab, which is very similar to the Instagram shop tab. And when you go here, you're going to be able to see products to buy. You're going to be able to search through them. You're going to be able to purchase directly from the TikTok shop of those stores, which... I mean, it's stolen it off Instagram, but why not? I mean, Instagram's trying to steal their whole business model. This is pretty cool. And I think when you pair that with the news that we started hearing yesterday, that younger people are not necessarily using Google to search for stuff anymore. They are using Instagram and they are using TikTok. It totally makes sense to have this store directly within TikTok. Hopefully we are going to see TikTok shopping coming here soon. I know it's been put on hold for now, but I would really look forward to seeing that. Again, button pressing.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Jeremiah J-Man Monero with J-Man Speaks from New York, and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Make it a great day.
You know what I love? I love Twitter Spaces. You may remember myself and Making Sang have a Twitter Space every Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. where we discuss the news stories in more detail. There's a pinned tweet always at the top of my profile so you can come and join us. What's really nice is sometimes those conversations are really good fun. On the last one that we ran, we even did a little bit of karaoke. We did. It was fun. And the nice thing about it is initially when they came out, you had to be there. And hopefully you will join us live. But if you don't join us live, these Twitter Spaces are recorded, and those recordings last for 30 days so people can listen on replay. And as the person who creates the space as well, you can go and find a way to download that if you want to and repurpose parts of it or turn it into a podcast and keep those conversations forever. But now Twitter expanding the amount of time that it will be available for replay from 30 days to forever. I'm saying forever. It's a Twitter forever, but forever. Which is great news because, I haven't been downloading my spaces. The spaces are an add-on to my live show. So it seems like I would just be going down this big long rabbit hole from one piece of content. So I haven't done that, but it does mean I'll have the option to do it in the future. It also means that if, there's a specific topic talked about, I'll be able to link people to it and say, hey, this is where we discuss that topic. Come and listen to this. So there'll be lots of opportunities to share it and keep that as a good piece of content that will last way longer than the initial conversation. I will put up one warning. Twitter forever isn't forever. So Twitter could decide that they're actually going to get rid of all these recordings at some stage, or they're going to close their service. So I would, if you want to keep these conversations, if you want to have them forever, I would still find a way to download them yourself. But I do think this is a positive from Twitter. Another button to press. I'm very slow this morning. I'm slowly pressing a button. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Carol Phillips from Laguna Beach, California, and I'm here watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Hi!
Twitter is officially testing, something they are calling co-tweet. I really like this. This is a way that you will be able to co-author a tweet with someone else. You'll compose the tweet, the two of you will sign off or maybe more. At the moment it looks like two, but maybe it'll be more people. Two of you sign it off and the tweet goes out, which I think will be fabulous. I think it'll be really great. Now we could do this. Well, how would we use this? Right, myself and Making, for example, when I'm sending out the tweet to promote the show, usually I'll send it out, Making will retweet it. Maybe we could make that a co-tweet, and when it goes out, and I'm only guessing here from the screenshots that they sent us, that when it goes out, it will go out to her followers and my followers. So we're expanding the reach of that tweet, and also people are seeing the familiar face that they know above it. So that could be one case. If you're launching something, if you're working with creators or influencers, you could get them to co-tweet with you, which would give you that extra reach, but it would also associate you, not just the creator, with the brand. Also, I thought this was interesting because remember a few weeks ago, Twitter said that they were going to demote in the algorithm or the feed multiple tweets that said the same thing, because what does happen is a whole lot of bots will tweet the same thing at the same time, and it ends up making the feed less interesting. So instead of doing that, instead of getting everyone to tweet the same thing, all your friends, you could get them all to collaborate on a co-tweet. And that would be one way that Twitter can control and make sure that people aren't seeing the same message too many times. I think this is fabulous. I'm really interested to see how it works. Hopefully myself and May King will get it soon so that we can try it. I've got a couple of what do we call them? Comments. Told you I wasn't right form today, from Hannah here. So Hannah's saying, could I transcribe their Twitter space for a long form article? Yes, people definitely could do that. I tell you why I wouldn't do that is that I already do a blog post for this live, and it's the same thing that goes on that. But yes, that would be, if the space was your main piece of content, that would be a really excellent way to repurpose it. Great idea. And very excited about the co-tweet. Yeah, like so many ways that that can be used. I'm really interested to see how it works.
I'm Esther.
And I'm Melanie.
From the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast.
And you're watching The Digital Coffee
with Amanda Webb.
Once upon a time, when social networks first started, you would post a status update and you would say, this is what I'm doing now. So on Twitter, it could be, I'm eating my breakfast. On Facebook, it could be, I'm eating my breakfast. It's nice. That was what we did when social networks were first there, these tiny little status updates to say what we were doing right now, so people would know what we were up to. And we know that that has evolved so much into something huge. Now there's all these different types of posts that you can have with all different things. And it's not only people telling you what they're doing now, it's people sharing information and tips and humor and jokes. And I mean, it's just become this massive world. But then we started using direct messaging quite a lot. We started not maybe posting so much publicly and posting a little bit more via direct message, through direct message conversations, through Messenger, through WhatsApp, through all these tools. And that's where we were having more conversations there. So now Instagram has decided what it wants to do is it wants to go and put status updates in the direct message interface. They're calling it notes. When I first saw that, I thought, does that mean we're going to be blogging on Instagram? No. They're just 60 characters that you will be able to stick at the top of your DM feed, so anyone who's connected to you will see them. Yeah, thanks for that, Twitter. Thanks for that, Instagram, even. Not a fan of this. Can't see why you're doing it. You know, we have gone full circle here. Maybe you should just leave that behind. Don't forget next week. Don't forget, it's not even next week. Don't forget to scan this QR code. Hannah, if you're on your phone, you could just take a quick screenshot and tap it later and register, or go to spiderworking.com/Agora ROI, because I have a webinar coming up with Agora Pulse. In the webinar, I am going to tell you how you can find out what is working with your digital marketing strategy right now. I'm going to show you what you need to measure for your digital marketing strategy. And I'm going to show you how you can step by step, how to put together an ROI-driven content marketing strategy for your business. It's only 45 minutes long. Join me there. It's happening on the 25th of July. If you follow this link, you can register and you'll get all the reminders and everything that you need. I'm delighted to be working with Agora Pulse on this. They are fabulous. They have a fabulous ROI tool, which I'll also talk to you about on the webinar, but it's not a massive sales pitch for that. That's just a minute out of a 45-minute webinar. So do come and join me for that. And I'm going to leave the QR code on screen. Don't forget at 10:30 a.m. that myself and May King will be on Twitter enjoying ourselves, talking about these topics in more detail, and we'd love to have your input, so do join us there. It is a pinned tweet on my profile. And that, I don't think I missed any stories, but I feel like I did. Don't go to a gig on a Thursday night ever again, Amanda. That is it for the Digital Coffee for this week. I will be back, same bat time, same bat place next week. Until then, bye-bye.